So this GeerTop Bivy tent has become really popular over the last year or so because of three good reasons. One, it has some great features. Two, it's budget friendly. And three, it has a lot of good 5-star reviews online. However, there are some people that have a few concerns with this GeerTop Bivy tent, but I will cover those few concerns during the course of this video. Now, if you choose to purchase this Bivy tent, everything you get comes in a really well-made drawstring storage bag. Now, the length of the storage bag comes in at around 44 centimeters and the width comes in at around 12 centimeters. The packed weight of the storage bag, so obviously your storage bag with everything else you get when you purchase this GeerTop Bivy tent, comes in at around 1.25 kilograms. You then get your Bivy tent. You then get a Bivy tent pole storage bag, which houses 3 Bivy tent poles, which are made out of aluminium. You then get a ground peg storage bag, which houses 8 ground pegs, which are also made of aluminium. This GeerTop Bivy tent costs between £50 and £60, which I think is a real fair price. Now, this Bivy tent is classed as a 3-season Bivy. It can be used in the spring, the summer and the autumn. However, I do know some people that use it all year round. It comes in a choice of 2 colors. I've gone for it in the camouflage color, but you can also get it in the green. Now, when it comes to pitching this Bivy tent, it is really, really easy. I'm not going to show you how to pitch it because it really is not rocket science. I mean, if you want to use a footprint, you can, because you don't get a footprint with this Bivy, just to protect the bottom of the Bivy. But then all you're doing is laying out your Bivy, threading through a couple of poles at the top, one at the bottom, and then putting in your 2 guy lines and your ground pegs, and you are done. When I say it takes 2 minutes, it literally is 2 minutes. However, if you're still not sure, I will put a link in the description below, which will take you to a little video to show you how to pitch this GeerTop Bivy tent correctly. Now, moving on, round the front of the Bivy tent here, you do have a rain fly that comes down. Now, what you can do on a nice day, you can roll this rain fly up and toggle it at the top here. And underneath this rain fly, you've got a really nice mesh window there. That's going to aid with some airflow to help keep you cool, but also help keep any insects out. Obviously, if it's raining, you can just keep this rain fly down. Now, down the far end of the Bivy, which I'm going to show you now, there is another rain fly. If we come down the end here, you have another little rain fly down the end here, and once again underneath, you can't see it, but there is another mesh window to aid airflow, but also by aiding airflow, it's going to help reduce any condensation in this Bivy. Now, you can't roll this rain fly up because it's just a single pole, so if you undid this, this end of the Bivy tent would collapse. Now, I spoke about some concerns some people had. The first concern some people had was that on this Bivy, on these toggles, you get a lot of reflective tabs, and you get some reflective guidelines. See, here we are, you can see the tab there, there's some tabs here. All the tabs are reflective, and their concern is, you know, if I'm trying to do a bit of stealth camping and someone has a flashlight, they're going to see me. Well, that's an easy fix. You could just purely just take a Sharpie pen and just colour over them. And as far as the guy lines go, you can just change those out. Now, another concern is that the top of the bivvy does sag a little bit. To be honest, on all bivvy tents, you're going to get some sagging, but it's not that bad. And when a nice breeze comes through the bivvy, through those mesh windows, it will inflate a little bit, which is nice. Now, if it does rain, the rain will tend to just run straight off. But if it did pool a little bit, when you're in the bivvy, you could just flick up onto the ceiling of the bivvy and the rain will just run away. Now, when it comes to the fabric, the outer fabric of this bivvy, it is made from a 210T polyester. If you come round and have a closer look, as I say, 210T polyester, all the seams on this bivvy are double stitched and they're also tape sealed. It has a hydrostatic head rating of 5,000 millimeters, so it's more than waterproof. Now, that was another concern from some people. They said several years ago there were a lot of complaints that the GeerTop bivvy tents and bags, etc., they were leaking. Now, whether that was a design or a production fault, I don't know. However, subsequently, since, there's been no issues with any waterproofing. Apart from this Geer tent bivvy that I own, plus another GeerTop blazer tent I own, I've had no issues with waterproofing whatsoever. So don't worry about that. Now, with this bivvy, it is a side entrance bivvy, and you have a 3/4 length zip that goes all the way around the side. Now, a side entrance bivvy is so much better than a front entrance bivvy because it's so much easier to get in. With front entrance bivvies, there just is no easy way to get in those bivvies. Now, with the zip, it is covered with a storm flap which runs the full length of the zip. When we undo this zip, we then will be able to roll this outer door up. When you've rolled the outer door up, you then get the inner door, which is a mesh door, which is great because once again, it's going to encourage a nice bit of airflow that's going to help keep you cool, but also with that airflow, it's going to help reduce condensation. Now, with regards to condensation, once again, another concern for some people, will you get condensation? You will get condensation in a bivvy tent or bivvy bag. It is a part of the bivvy experience, shall we say. The only way you're going to try and reduce that is by getting as much airflow into this bivvy as possible. Now, one thing you can do is in the warmer months of the year, you can leave this outer door rolled up and just keep that mesh down. So as I said, it's going to give you that nice bit of airflow. But also if say it's going to rain, you could still leave this rolled up, leave that down, but you could perhaps then set up a little tarp over the top of this bivvy tent. Also, I think having a tarp over the top is a nice idea because you can't spend the whole evening sat in your bivvy. Having that tarp is going to give you a nice little bit of space to cook and relax until you're ready to get into this bivvy. Now, as I said, the zip is covered with the storm flap, but also it does have some Velcro just to keep it in place should the wind get up. Right, now I'm going to roll this little mesh door up so we can have a good look inside the bivvy. Right, when you've rolled the mesh door back, you then get your inner bathtub style floor. Now, the bathtub style floor is made from a 240T polyester, and it has a hydrostatic head rating of 8,000 millimeters. And once again, all the stitching is double stitched and it's tape sealed. So, you know, I echo again, no issues with waterproofing in this bivvy tent. And now when it comes to the size of this bivvy tent, as bivvy tents go, it's a generous size. In feet wise, the length comes in at 7 foot 6 inches, which is more than long enough for most people. And although it's bigger at the head end here, it is the same width all the way down the bivvy, and the width comes in at 2 foot 6 inches. Now at the highest point of the bivvy, so from the head end, shoulder end here at the top, it's 2 foot, and then at the foot end, it's about a foot in height. Now, having this 2 foot height here is really generous as far as bivy tents go. I think 2 foot is around 24 inches. Well, most bivvies, or bivy tents, I should say, they're about 18, 19 inches. And the time you've put your sleep system in, your head is virtually touching the top of the ceiling of this bivy. So this is nice and generous. And with that extra room, it really does make your experience in this bivy a lot better. Now, obviously, when you put a sleep system in, you are going to reduce the room, but because it is a decent size, it is more generous than most budget bivvies out there. Now, looking inside the bivvy, you do have an elasticated strap here, which you can put your air mats underneath, and that just keeps it in place. And then right at the back here, you do have a couple of storage pockets where you can store a few items in. Unfortunately, you don't have a little lamp hook, which would have been nice, but hey, you can work around that. But other than that, that's the bivvy. I think for 50 to 60 pound, this is a great budget bivvy. You know, I think with all the features you get in, and yes, there are a few concerns on a few things, as people have mentioned or I've covered, but most of those can be either changed or rectified. But you know, regardless of what bivvy you have or tent you have, no bivvy or tent will ever be perfect. But I'd like you to tell me what you think about this bivvy. The only other thing to mention is with the storage bag of this bivvy tent, it is a bit on the small side, and people have mentioned that getting your bivvy and everything out that storage bag and then getting it back in is a little on the tight side. So I would change that out and just put all this in a different size bag, or a compression bag, just to make life a bit easier with getting everything in and out. But in saying that, this is the bivvy. I really like it. I honestly think with everything going for this bivvy, including the price, this definitely could be the budget bivvy king. But let me know what you think in the comments section below. But on that note, if you've enjoyed this video, please hit that like button for me. If you're enjoying the channel, hit that subscribe button. But until next time, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.